Welcome back to Marvel Mondays. I am Mike.
And I am Brandon.
One of these times I'm going to do it in the Groot voice, though. I am
Mhm.
Mike.
Mm.
That sounded actually a little bit more like Yoda.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, so somewhere in there.
Yeah.
They're kind of Yoda and Kermit the Frog are they're cousins, the way I look at it. But
Yeah.
that is not on topic. So it seems like every week now we're getting like something new. Um, Either related to Spider-Man Brand New Day or something new related to Avengers Doomsday. I feel like
hmm
this week we had a little bit of each. They keep putting out new like commercials or clips, you know, that are coming out, and I thought kind of an interesting one recently. I think you had sent it to me actually. Um, was that kind of slightly different version of the fight between Hulk and Spider-Man, where Spider-Man's wearing the Shocker gauntlet
hmm
from Homecoming, and that really does, in my mind, that solidifies the idea that that building that they're fighting in, that they end up crumbling down from, is the DODC, which kind of was confirmed from the I
Yeah,
guess it
the
was the Lego
Lego.
set, yeah.
Yeah.
But that definitely confirms it, because who would have ownership of that after what happened in Homecoming? Probably the DODC.
hmm
And I think you noticed something else in that I didn't catch, and now I got to go back and watch again.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. Did you notice in the one where he's in that scene with the Shocker's gauntlet, um, the webbing is like holding Hulk down. It's Spider-Man's webbing that's
Yeah,
holding him down.
yeah.
And people have said you can see it like holding, like pressing like into him, showing like how
Yeah,
strong it is.
yeah.
I'm trying to find the um, clip that I was telling you about though, because the one scene it's Smart Hulk that he's
Yeah.
fighting, because you could see he's wearing the uh like Smart Hulk clothes. Oh yeah, there's the scene. Let me see. Try to slow it down for those of you that aren't watching the video. You're missing out right now.
Go watch the video.
Um, we'll find it eventually. There. It's kind of there, right there. Can you see that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you got a message there.
Yeah, let's turn
Somebody's
on.
somebody's now going to pause that and see what your
Yeah.
message was. Um, yeah.
Do you see? Can you kind of see that?
Yeah,
That's
you can
Smart
see
Hulk.
you can definitely see that that's Smart Hulk. Yeah, because it's he's Hulk, but he's in clothes, and like normal Banner, transitioning into Hulk, the shirt would be like the first thing to
Yeah.
go.
And then there's also, um, I don't think it's that one. There's also another TV spot that was released where it's Spider-Man dragging him
Yeah, he
through.
kind of does a flip off of a wall and then webs him up and drags him to the ground.
No, yes, that one. But there's another one where it's Spider-Man dragging Punisher.
Oh,
Like he's webbing Punisher behind him, and Punisher's shooting at Hulk, Smart Hulk,
oh, I did see
and
that
Smart
one.
Hulk's like
Yes,
blocking it with his
yeah,
hand.
I've seen a lot of
So it's going to
a
be
lot of
Spider-Man and Punisher, I take it. I almost wonder
yeah.
if they're breaking into DODC for something to do with what we're assuming is Jean Grey. I wonder,
Maybe.
maybe does DODC get control of her? Maybe.
Maybe that
Maybe they
could.
get control of her.
Although,
They go to break her out, and Hulk is there for some reason.
right.
And then she
You
mind
think you
controls
think of
Hulk.
that one scene where it's the DODC guy, and he's talking
hmm
about, we're looking at a force we can't control, we
hmm
can't see, we can't control. Um, so that could be that might make sense, but that also makes me think and clearly it does, that whole scene happens later in the movie.
hmm
Um, because then like that would also indicate that the webbing probably that we're seeing is the organic
hmm
webs, which are the organic web shooters, which clearly are stronger because there's the whole scene of him. So have you seen some of the stuff about when he's doing the test with the organic webs, where he says Peter 2 had organic webs, Peter 2 was cool,
hmm
uh, and then he just totally out of control, and he smashes into it like a building, and supposedly that scene is a wedding scene,
Hmm.
and there's talk about whose wedding it is. Um, and the speculation that I've seen, not to get too much into speculation again, but
Hmm.
is that it's J. Jonah Jameson's son who
Hmm.
married, or who was supposed to marry MJ in the Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire Spider-Man movies. It's his wedding that that he crashes into, which that'll lead into a whole thing of Jay Jonah
More why
having
he's
more
yeah.
reason to not like Spider-Man, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'd like
but
that.
yeah, but then there's also some other stuff that did come out, because there's a lot of like, there's press tours going on. There's also, I forget what the other show that's going on, like now that they're talking about, is where the Doomsday trailer is going to be released.
Hmm.
But Kevin Feige actually is handing out spoilers now, I guess, because he had made a statement, basically not confirming, but hardly suggesting that um, that Yelena Belova is going to appear in Spider-Man: Brand
Oh,
New Day,
yeah, I heard
which
that.
I'd heard things about that before, um, that she may be trying to recruit him for the new Avengers, Thunderbolts, whatever they're going to be called now.
Hmm.
Um, but the statement from Kevin Feige was, if you're a fan of Yelena, uh, wait until Avengers Doomsday. Yelena plays a big part in that. But if you don't want to wait until then, you might see Yelena a little bit sooner in the movies. Well, the only,
Yeah.
Marvel project that's coming out in the movies between now and Doomsday is Spider-Man: Brand New Day. So to me, that's like pretty much confirming that she's going to be in that.
Yeah. I wonder if she'll be in like just like a quick thing,
Right. Yeah, it
you
could
know,
be. It could be
like
something like,
maybe she's trying to recruit him and it's just like,
yeah, something suggested that there was one thing I heard that suggested something to do with the two of them seeing each other naked. I don't know
hmm.
what that. I don't know why that is,
Yeah, so
but they
that they
pointed out that like in every one of these movies, somehow, it's before somebody finds out his identity, or
hmm.
around the time somebody finds out his identity as Peter Parker. Somebody sees him, in his underwear, not naked, but in his underwear.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's true. The first one, it was Ned with the,
Hmm.
dropping the Death Star model, and then
It was
in
MJ Far From Home.
Far From Home, it was right. It was MJ, and well, also it was, what's his name? What's the guy that was like,
Oh yeah, it was wow, why can't I remember his name?
yeah, I can't remember his name. Brad.
Brad. Yeah.
Um,
Again,
and
No Way Home was MJ again.
yeah, because he was in
Happy and
his,
all that. Yeah.
yeah. So who knows? Maybe that'll be the case. But because there's also that thing that they said before, that there's one other person in the movie that knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Um,
Hmm.
but they haven't said who that was. Um, and what else on that? There's something else on that. There was also another statement, and I don't have the exact wording. Um, from Kevin Feige, that talked about the X-Men and starting to introduce the X-Men, which a lot of people read to believe that that's sort of confirming that it's going to be Jean Grey,
Hmm.
in Brand New Day. I think like I saw somebody online talking about, and they said this feels a lot like the Tobey Maguire, um, uh, Andrew Garfield, denials of them being
Hmm.
in No Way Home, and everybody knew they were going to be in it, and then they showed up in it. So I feel like that may be kind of what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the other things that came out is there's been a lot of concept art for the Avengers Doomsday, and there's actually a poster. I don't know if you saw the poster that came out, but it's basically all the characters that have been confirmed in it. Um, including Steve Rogers and Thor and all of the X-Men that we already
Did
know are going to be in it.
did you notice in that poster, Steve is holding Mjolnir,
Yeah, I did notice that.
but it was the cracked one. Like
Oh,
it
oh
wasn't
well,
it wasn't like just Mjolnir, it was the cracked one.
the
So it's like
broken one
from
from
the 616 universe.
right. Which okay, so let me remember back to Love and Thunder. Uh the cracked Mjolnir is what Thor is using at the end of that because Love is
It's
actually
Stormbreaker.
wielding Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
So
And then he
and
also
that goes
had
in.
the did you know Thor had the yellow lightning that you were talking about? That's
Hmm.
more associated with Rune King.
Right, right. So that
So
we'll see. Yeah, that's another theory that I think is probably true.
and then I didn't
Um,
notice him at first, but you saw Loki in it too. He's like kind of right below Doom.
oh, did I notice that? I don't think I did notice him. I'm gonna now I
Yeah.
have to go back and look again. Now, if he's there, I'll paste it somewhere on the screen. It'll look really cool. And if you're not watching the video version, you'll have to go find it yourself. um, but that whole concept too led me to something else. Have you seen these? There's this group online that puts out these videos that are how it should have ended, and they do them for Star Wars stuff. They do them for a lot of stuff. They
Hmm.
had one recently that I saw for Endgame that was how it should have ended. And my favorite part of it is, I now have a new dislike for Doctor Strange because they pointed at this pointed out that and I forget who it was that says like when Tony's there and he's his arm is whatever and his whole side is like burned and he can't speak and all that, and one of them I think it's Cap says to Doctor Strange, if only we had a device that could turn back time on an object, meaning the time
Oh,
stone. Think of the time stone
right.
from the first Doctor Strange where he has that apple
Yeah,
there and
he's
he's
using, yeah.
doing this and he's taking the apple back. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, he could have just done that to Tony and
Would
Tony would
that
be
would
alive
that have
still.
reversed the snap though?
No, because I
Because
don't think
think
it
when
reversed.
When
Because
Thanos
but
used
think
it on Vision, the Mind Stone was undone from exploding,
right,
and he was
but
able
he
to
did it
pull it.
on the Mind Stone.
Oh,
That's
true.
the thing. You think of the apple that he did it on. Nothing around the room except for the apple was changed by that. So yeah, I'm sure somebody would say no, no, no. It would have undone the whole thing, but I like to think it wouldn't have,
Yeah.
and that's why I like how it should have ended. But then the other thing that it was going through was like was Cap trying to return all the stones, to their proper places, and
Hmm.
it's a funny thing, right? It's done as a joke, like it's him going to return the ether to Jane Foster, and it's like, yeah, wait a minute, he's got a stone now. How's he going to inject that stone into her?
Right.
And
Right.
and of course, they've always said like the Soul Stone. When he went to return the Soul Stone, and it's Red Skull there. He'd be like, what the heck, and
Yes.
I've always had the theory of if he returned the Soul Stone, shouldn't to its original timeline, shouldn't then you know shouldn't then uh Natasha have been okay? Shouldn't she have like come back? I don't know.
I always like the idea that people had that they could have done a 6 episode series on him returning each stone, even if
Yeah.
it was
Well,
animated. That would have been cool to like just
yeah.
see how he accomplished it.
Yeah, yeah, that was that. I saw a lot of people suggesting that would have been, along the lines of the Marvel What If stuff. Like they could have
Yeah.
done a version of that was, how he returned the stones. But I've
Yeah.
also heard things suggesting that might be part of the storyline that they add, or the additional scenes that are being added to Endgame.
Him like
That
going
it could
and
be showing
returning
that.
them.
Yeah, but it also had me thinking, to get a little bit into like the multiverse stuff, and because that's where Doomsday is gonna live, um, and did him returning those stones into their timelines, like, did it actually keep that from branching? Or did it
Hmm.
actually just create a new branch for each of those? Like by bringing them back into that timeline, you
Hmm.
know, was it and there's the whole problem of the Power Stone, the Tesseract, because the Tesseract they originally went to get they lost, so they went back to an earlier time and got a different Tesseract and then took that one back, but that other one was gone and never recovered.
Well, that was the
So
one that caused the branch timeline for the Loki.
right, right. Which they, I get it. They
They,
trimmed the
yeah, so
timeline
they
and all that,
pruned that one.
pruned the
Yeah.
timeline. Right. Um, so I get that, but it's always like, well, wait, but did any of those actually like? I mean, I guess if you go by the events of like Loki, yeah, because those would have been, otherwise it would have been branches that they would have gone and pruned. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But it just feel, and then you know the whole storyline behind him being moved to the 828 universe, right? The Fantastic Four universe
Yeah.
as part of that whole thing, and that's why that universe is different because it had a Steve Rogers who didn't die, I guess, or didn't go into the ice, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Or just not a Steve Rogers, and
right,
so he
right,
fit.
right. So yeah, yeah. I just thought that was interesting though. That whole concept. I'm trying to remember the other things they showed in it, like because he also takes Mjolnir back with him to return it to Asgard. Um, but that one of them was him going back and saying, "Wait a minute, how am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do with this Soul Stone?" And or not the
Hmm.
Soul Stone, the
Yeah. The
what the
what
heck is the ether? The
the Power Stone? Is it the Power Stone?
is that the no? I think that's the Reality Stone. Isn't that the Reality Stone? The Power Stone is the Tesseract,
Yeah.
or is the Tesseract the Space Stone?
Space Stone. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The
Yeah,
Power Stone was what they kept with that he gave to what's his name,
the Collector.
the Collector, right? That was the Power
Yeah, but
Stone.
that was the Power Stone, which was the one from the first Guardians movie, which
Hmm.
was totally yeah. That was the one that was in the orb. Oh, that's right. That's what it was. So he takes that back, and it shows him like going to put it into the the vault thing that it's in, where it's just floating in there, but
Hmm.
like it's not in the orb. It's just in that case. So he's like trying to put it in himself and his like arm gets burned off,
Yeah.
because of that. It's like,
Or like,
yeah, there were,
did he just drop off the stones where he landed? It's just like, there you go. It's back in that reality now.
yeah, maybe, right? Maybe he took it back and was like, to
Not my
Quill,
problem.
here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be. Yeah, but it was just, it was kind of, that's why I really think they should have done something like that. I think that would have been a great, and for the number of people I've seen suggest that, I'm really surprised they didn't do something like that. Again, unless that's part of what we get um,
Hmm.
in the new and improved Endgame.
Yeah. So I heard that
Uh,
some of it was going to be, I think, was it you that told me? Yeah, I think it was. That you were saying about, it might have been, you mentioned it even on the last podcast, was that Ant-Man's the one that Steve talks to, right?
Ant-Man's the one that Steve talks to. What do you,
Like about going back in
oh,
time and staying there and everything.
oh, oh, yeah, yeah. No,
That that's going to be an extended scene.
yeah. Maybe that was it. Yeah, you're right. You're
The
right. That
problem
was the
with
other interesting
the
thing
problem
is
with that though would be that Bucky knew,
right.
like, because he was the one that showed Sam, like, hey, he's over there.
Yeah, yeah,
So Bucky would
yeah,
have
and
had to have known.
yeah. You figured Bucky did know because the conversation that he and Steve had in that scene, like you
It
could
was a
tell Bucky knew
goodbye.
he wasn't coming
Yeah.
back. Yeah, it was a goodbye. And I think they might have even alluded to the fact that he knew, or outright shown the fact that he knew in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that
Hmm.
series. I always
Hmm.
forget that series even existed, and that was a good series.
Yeah,
But
that was that.
I always forget that every now and then I'll be on Disney Plus and I'll be like, oh yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier, because
Yeah.
he's not Falcon anymore. Now he's Captain America.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, is he going to have a shield? Is what I want to know. Is Steve
Steve.
Rogers going to have a shield?
I don't know.
Because
People are calling out the hypocrisy. Was it in what movie was it in? Was it in Winter Soldier or Age of Ultron? Something like that, where he says like you can't go to war without a uniform, something like
oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
And then they're showing him just his black t-shirt.
yeah,
Like,
black t-shirt, tan khakis. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's his new uniform. Yeah, that is kind of funny. I mean, yeah, will he suit up, or would that be taking something away from the
yeah. I feel
trying to
like they're,
build Sam
yeah,
Wilson's Captain America up, and now you bring the old one back, and it's kind of like, and I feel like now, and I don't know that I've heard this anywhere. Do we actually? I think we did hear this that Chris Evans is going to be in Secret
Secret
Wars,
Wars.
right?
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
he was
So
going to be in Secret Wars.
yeah. So that again, because I feel like some of this wasn't planned. I feel
Hmm.
like when they ended Endgame and they were going into the whole Kang realm for the multiverse stuff. I don't think at that point in time they planned on bringing back Robert Downey Jr. for the Doctor Doom role. I don't think
Hmm.
they planned on bringing back Chris Evans to play any kind of Captain America's Steve Rogers role. I think because of how things were going, they realized they needed to do that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think they said goodbye to those characters in that movie because they gave them like the sort of like endings, that
yeah,
like probably honestly for RDJ, he didn't want to come back as Iron Man, so he was like, just kill him off. He
yeah,
didn't even
yeah,
want the possibility. He was okay with that. Chris Evans, he got his like goodbye, go live his happy life.
yeah.
So yeah,
But
I
then
feel like if anything,
he did come back
oh
in
yeah,
Deadpool and
Deadpool,
Wolverine as as Johnny Storm, which still
yeah.
was that was still great. Um,
But I feel like they probably like if anything with the Kang stuff, they probably planned on bringing them back as like maybe a variant, and that was it, like a quick
sure,
cameo variant or something like that. Not
right,
playing like a huge part of the story like this, especially for
yeah,
like Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. Like it,
right,
RDJ, you could say like, hey, he's just playing Doom. It has nothing to do with Tony Stark, and that would be fine.
right,
But I feel like Chris Evans, it was kind of like a desperate move of like
yeah,
these RDJ, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth. Those are our three guys, and we need to get them back because
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I have the poster up, although I made the mistake of pulling it up on Instagram, which I can't zoom in on it then, so I'm gonna pull it up somewhere else because I want to point out the fact that like this is not the highest quality version of it, but you know, so on this,
yeah. You see Loki there.
Doctor Doom is prominent, and um, but like the next most prominent characters are Steve Rogers and Reed Richards. Well,
Yeah,
Reed Richards, you would expect. He's brand new. They just brought him in. But Steve Rogers being featured that prominently on the poster, like, to me, says a lot about, you know,
we're
what
trying
role
to
that
win
character is
back.
going to play.
Yeah, I think it's trying to win back people who weren't with everything that has happened since Endgame to
Right.
say like, look who's back.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just noticing who else, because, yeah, I hadn't noticed Loki. I do see him now. He's right there. He's under Doctor Doom's chin. Um, kind of hidden, which is
Hmm.
interesting. Um,
Yeah, I was
but
thinking if that's like kind of telling his role, if Loki's going to be like kind of like pulling on any of the strings in the background to it, if he's going to be more of a background character for this,
right,
or
right. And then the other characters that you can see, you can. It's obvious that you can see uh, the
yeah, the
new
Thunderbolts,
Avengers,
or yeah,
yeah,
New Avengers.
Thunderbolts, and Ant Man. Which the Ant Man thing is interesting because you really haven't seen much of like anything related to Ant Man in this.
Hmm.
Um, and then we've got Captain America and Falcon and Fantastic Four. Um,
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi and
Oh yeah, Black Panther and
Shuri
Baku.
and M'Baku. Yeah. Um, and that's pretty well. Yeah, and then on the bottom, and you can't see it because it's under the thing, but they've got the X-Men characters, and again, it's the
You
X-Men characters
see,
that we
do you see
already
the
know.
hammer? Now that you're looking at it, you see the hammer that it's the cracked one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. It makes sense that it would be the cracked one from 616 because
He
the
took
other
it
one he
back.
was supposed to have taken back to Asgard, so that
Yeah,
everything would be backwards supposed to be. So it makes sense that it would be that one.
yeah.
So, yeah. Um, Yeah, so that's the poster. Now we showed the poster. I'm actually gonna probably drop it somewhere so people can see it a little bit better on the screen.
Yeah.
Those who do check it out. But yeah, I think that was all I wanted to cover this week. Anything else that I missed?
So I had something going back to Brand New Day because I was rewatching the first Avengers movie, and the big thing that they're showing that I haven't seen anyone thinking this. Every time that they're showing Spider-Man, everyone sees him with the black eyes, and they're
Hmm.
thinking that it's Venom or something else. But in the first Avengers movie, when Loki was going and mind controlling everyone,
Uh,
he touched them and their eyes went black.
yes, when he used
So,
the Mind Stone.
so what if Jean Grey's powers, like Wanda, came from the Mind Stone, and that's her mind controlling him, and his whole thing of like, I got to figure out whatever this is, or like
Right,
whatever he's saying. Like,
right.
what if it's
So
that she is able to mind control him, but then maybe his spider sense starts to kick in and helps fight it off or something like that. Like maybe
yeah,
the his eyes turning black is actually her mind controlling him in that moment. Because they've
that's
set
a
that precedent of like black eyes means mind control.
right, right. That's a great. Yeah, I hadn't caught that, but that's a really great call out. Yeah, that it could be, and it could be that she gets like the mind control, but she can't. But his because like to your point of his Spidey sense, he senses it and is able to
Hmm.
prevent it or whatever, or
Or
um,
she gets
you
in
know,
his head, but she can't control him, something like
right,
that.
right, which then would go back to what we had talked about, I think, last week, that she's the other person who knows who he is because she does get into his head. She just can't control him.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a really good theory. And now I got to go back and and watch that and see if it looks the same. Because as
Yeah.
as I'm remembering it
It
now,
was
yeah, it's the
that's
same
yeah. As
exact
I was
look.
watching it, it was black and it was the glossy eyes like that. The thing that I would
Yeah,
like to see though is that precedent was set in the first Avengers that mind control is that.
right.
Um, I didn't get a chance to go back and look at Age of Ultron for when Wanda is going in their heads to
Oh, I
see
think when
does
Wanda
does
was
that
doing
have the
it,
same look?
their eyes would turn red because her power is
Yeah,
red.
yeah,
Is so yeah. I think when she did it, their eyes would turn like temporarily red, unlike when Loki did it. But you're right. And now I'm
yeah.
gonna see if I can find those to drop. Excuse me, to drop in here too.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a good call. And that's you had kind of mentioned something about this earlier. You didn't go into detail, but you had said you hadn't heard anyone else say it, and I have not heard anyone else suggest that either. And that's a really good call out.
Yeah. Yeah, just something to think about. It could still be the symbiote because if it ends with, like we've heard, Peter dying and then the symbiote is what resurrects him essentially.
Right.
Like, it could be the
Yeah.
symbiote. But I just thought that was interesting that it was the exact same look from the
Yeah.
first Avengers movie that you're
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
now.
And I feel like with Marvel, those things are never a coincidence.
Hmm.
Things that are like that are never a coincidence. So
Yeah,
we will see. So we are now. Well, when this episode comes out, we will be just like 2.5 weeks away from Brand New Day. So yeah, it's getting closer.
exciting.
Yep.
I haven't seen any other toy leaks for anything, which
Um,
for a while there.
Yeah, I have not either.
That's
Although
where,
I will say for all of the Spider-Man Brand New Day TV commercials that I haven't seen on TV, that I've seen them all online. I finally saw one the other day on TV, and it was
oh,
that same one that has been shown online like 1,000 times. But I was like, oh wow, I'm finally actually seeing it on TV because I haven't.
yeah, I still to this day have not seen one on TV.
Yeah, and I can't. I don't even remember what I was watching that it would have been on. But
Yeah. I see, I
yeah,
think if I was watching something like, you know how they'll always run the Marvel reruns on like FX?
yeah,
Not, I think like TNT, any of
yeah,
those. I feel like if I was watching that, I would probably end up seeing one.
yeah.
I
You
keep getting
think
like
that would have been
I get the Spider-Man like merchandise tie-ins. Like I keep getting like the Talkies Spider-Man commercial.
right,
Like,
right,
but I'm not getting the
right.
actual trailer
Yeah.
commercials. So,
So one last interesting thing. It's not really Marvel related, but kind of is. Did you see the that the Odyssey movie that's coming out
hmm,
has Zendaya? Uh, uh, wow, I
yeah,
just totally lost my train of thought. John Barenthal
hmm,
and Spider Man, not Spider Man,
hmm,
and Tom Holland in it.
hmm,
That's kind of
yeah,
weird, that within a short time frame, like those three
and
people are in.
and Matt Damon too, who played uh,
That's true.
theater Loki.
Yeah, theater Loki. Not Loki, but theater Loki. Yeah, does his character? Do we even know the name of his actual character, of the Matt Damon character in that?
I don't think so.
I gotta look that up.
Theater Loki. He's just theater
Yeah,
Loki.
it's always kind of funny to me though that like kind of a well-known actor like that, that his appearance in the MCU is in that role.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing with Melissa McCarthy
Oh yeah, that
being
she's like
being
theater
theater
hella.
hella.
Yeah, yeah.
Just hilarious that you get these kind of well-known actors and they play such interesting roles.
I'll say though, like Melissa McCarthy makes sense because like, what role would she have in the MCU except
No,
like
that's
something
true.
like that? Matt
That is
Damon's
true.
funny because it's like he could have actually like probably played somebody in a
Yeah.
serious like
Yeah, like
capacity.
some real character. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
But there go my headphones, but he did not. He
yeah.
did not.
He
And now
chose
he
he
can't
chose to be
because, well,
Loki.
yeah, he chose to
I
be
guess
theater Loki.
variants, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
variants
that's
fair.
true. That's true because let's face it, how many actors now have played multiple roles in Marvel movies? So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, let us know what you think of this one. We had a lot of good feedback on our last episode, I think. So keep it coming. Hopefully, it'll make us better at it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone.